Hello, everybody. This is Moses Garrido Lucero coming back to you live here from the headquarters of Exp Real Estate Agency in Windsor, Ontario. Uh, as some of you have heard or know, I'm a new real estate agent in the area of Windsor, Ontario. And everybody is like, what do you mean Windsor, Ontario? Where's Windsor, Ontario? Windsor, Ontario is the most southern point of Canada. It's got an awesome temperature, awesome weather, I should say. It's got a great scenery on the riverfront. It's got a lot of parks. It's got a lot of nice places to go and chill for family-oriented or anybody that wants more like enjoyment of peace and quiet as opposed to living in a crowded big city full of people and taking an hour and 45 minutes to get to your work or back home. You can cross the city from corner to corner in about 30 minutes. It's an awesome place to live. A lot of people are finding it's a great place to retire. Unfortunately, Windsor doesn't have the best reputation. I think that's the biggest misconception about Windsor. Windsor is an awesome place to be. It's the jewel of North America. It is, you know. If we live here, it's because we believe it. I came here a long time ago. I didn't like it. I was a kid. I didn't understand the value of living in this area, the great things about living in this area. Now that I'm older, I have four children, and it's been many years since I moved to Canada. I never looked back. I lived in Kitchener, Ontario, for a brief moment in time, a long time ago, and I thought I loved that area, but for whatever reason, I ended up coming back here to Windsor, and I've called home Windsor for the last 30 years. So it's a great place. And as I mentioned, I started my real estate career in about this journey started about a little bit more than a year ago, and I've been a licensed real estate agent with Exp Realty for about a month. It's a great journey, and many people want me to fly. I want to fly, but first I got to learn to walk, which is something that's it's a necessity when you start a new career, especially after you've settled in a job for so many years. I worked in this job where I'm still working there for over 22 years. I was a young lad, like they say in England, when I started there. I was going to say homeless. No, I wasn't married. I was just like everybody else, single and young and crazy, a little bit crazy. And anyway, so but I got married. I settled. I matured a little bit, hopefully. And now I got my real estate license, and it's an awesome thing to get into. It's an awesome thing to do, especially in this crazy market. But I see a lot of resistance from people. People are really afraid or worried about buying or about selling because, oh, if I sell, I'm gonna have a hard time buying. If I buy, I'm gonna have to like put many offers to be able to eventually get a property. But commitment is the word. If you truly want to buy a house, it doesn't matter how hard you gotta try to get it. You will eventually get it. It's like anything else. You want to be fit. You work out, and you'll be fit. You're not gonna be fit in 2 months, but you will be fit. You want to achieve something. You work hard at it, and you will do anything. Anything's possible. It's perspective. I love that. I like that word. That's one of my favorite words. We gotta have perspective, and that's one of the things about Windsor. People gotta have a perspective. People talk about, oh, this and that. This that. Somebody said I think they said it's the meth capital of Canada. Uh, or silly dumb things like that. But Windsor is one of the safest cities to live in, believe it or not. It's one of those cities that, yes, there's crime, but it's so low that if you compare it to other places, it's very, very safe. I'm surprised. I'm not your typical Canadian. I don't lock. I mean, I don't leave my doors unlocked. I meant to say, I lock, overlock. I I come from Guatemala. In Guatemala, you check, double check, triple check, quadruple check. You make sure everything's secure. You don't like just leave your doors unlocked when you're sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning, and here many people are so comfortable and nobody worries. From what I've seen, anyways, some people, anyways, they don't worry so much about, being careful and security and this and that, But me, no, I'm like, I'm not that old yet, but if I had 8 locks in my door, I'd probably lock them all down, making sure everything's in its place. Anyways, so I just wanted to bring a couple of topics today. I want to get more into making videos, and I want to bring content to people so people get informed about things. Sometimes you have curiosities, especially people are curious about Windsor. People are curious about what's going to happen. Everybody's trying to predict what's going to happen with with the economy, especially with COVID. COVID this is forever. This is going to be years before we see any normality, if there's any. And we're starting to see how much cases are going up, and probably going to go back to square one. If I'm hoping not, because my kids were doing online last year, and that's not a very good thing. It's they were happy because they were home. They were getting up at 8 in the morning and chilling and studying a little. But it's important that they go to school. It's important that they get up early, like I get up early. Maybe not as early as I get up, 4 o'clock in the morning, but they get up early. People like that I work with, they're like, oh, he probably always wakes up late because he's always just barely making it on time to work. But I'm like, why am I going to be here? I'm going to be here for 12 hours. So why am I going to be like coming here like an hour and a half before my shift? So I come early, but I don't come into work till it's time to punch in. So, I might come 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early, but I never bother to go in until it's time to start working. So anyway, so that's the misconception they have about me. And, yeah, so the school was crazy, Anyways, to bring topic, like, what's happening now that, this crazy election that might be happening, and how they're bringing out these ideas, like, to cool down the market, and how Trudeau and his government is like considering, let's get rid of blind bidding, and let's just, make it like Australia. And I've seen enough from Australia to tell you it's nuts. If you ever Google it, go online and see a video from a real estate or realtor from Australia. It's a live bid. It's like you're buying cattle when you're buying a house. 300,000, 350,000, 400,000. It's crazy, And this house, it went for double what they were asking, and we're talking a $13 million property that they were showing. Anyway, so the property wasn't worth 25 million when it ended up selling, but it's just people get so hyped up. It's worse. I think emotion is, when you don't take reasoning into action, and you let emotion take over, it's worse. It's much, much worse than having time to reason. Okay, this is my steps. This is what I gotta do, and methodically consider your action, as opposed to like having an open bid and be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I can afford it, but yeah, like 700,000, and you can't have that here in Canada. I think that would be a huge, huge mistake on that part of the government. And for buyers, they think they would probably have a better chance and more fairness to them. But is it really? Just because you know what you're going up against, is that going to give you a more advantage? No, because you're probably going to end up letting your emotions take over. So you're not going to think rationally, especially if you like a property, if you like a house. Why would you like think rationally, especially if you really want the house? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I just wanted to bring it out there. I don't know what you guys would think about this idea, and everybody has mixed feelings about this, but I just wanted to bring it out because from my perspective, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't know what you guys think. And I think balancing or increasing the loan rate, or the interest rate, that's what would cool it down a little bit, because you got to remember, we have crazy interest right now. Like, if you look at a variable right now, it can be as low as 1%. If you're looking at a private lender, it's 1.7% for a 5-year fixed mortgage. And if you're buying a $300,000 house on a 1.7% mortgage, it would be around $1,227. As opposed to like if you buy like a more normal mortgage rate of 2.4, which is about $120, $130 more than that. Of course you save, but as a buyer, and it's good, it's awesome. But the problem is that that's what's also driving all this craziness. And do we really want that, or do we want the opportunity to have a more balanced possibility of getting a mortgage? In Windsor, it was cheap forever. If you compare the prices from 1990 and 2000s to now, to like around 2013, it only increased about 10-15%. You could have bought a house for $200,000 in 2000, and bought the house in 2010, it would have gone up about $15,000-$20,000, if that. You never see this crazy like 200% over what the property is asking or it was worth. So it's just it's gotten out of control, but it's still doable. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's what you want. What do you want to get out of it? Do you really want to have a house? If you really want to have a house, you have to have a goal. You got to have a perspective of the reality of things. Be like, okay, you know what? This is my goal, and I will insist till I get it. And it's very, very doable, And at the end of the day, it's a complicated market, but it is achievable if you're buying. If you're selling, you can still sell, and you can still buy. That's why I'm a new agent, so as much as I'm learning and everything, I would say sell before you buy. Sorry, backwards. Buy before you sell. Buy a property before you sell, because you're gonna have to take longer to buy a property than to sell your house. Your house, you're gonna sell it within a month. But anyways, so let me know what you guys think about all this information. It's good to know what people think. And like I said, I want to be bringing more and more stuff, and touch topics, and get people's understanding of the area, and people's mindset about our area to change. Because, like I mentioned, we are a great place to live. And those of us that have been here a long time, and we've seen this craziness shift in the market, the real estate market, we know how incredible it was, and it's still a wonderful place to live. And it was still cheaper than most places in Canada. Many people here locally say, "Oh, it's so expensive," but if we compare it to Toronto or Vancouver or some other places in Ontario or Canada, it's crazy. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think, and see you guys in the next video. And I'll try to bring more information as I come along, and keep you guys up to date, so you guys know what's happening, and and we can work together in understanding this great area of ours. Have a good night. Take care.